last week we went through sort of Binance a bit, just the basics of Binance, where to find various parts of it, just not in depth though, because there was a hell of a lot to Binance and we didn't have forever. So that's sort of a good trading platform for crypto. Although if you don't already have a Binance account, there are a few restrictions for Australians at the moment. But if you aren't able to access the futures platform on Binance, there are other options. One that I used to use a lot is called BitMEX. They're just a futures trading platform. So that's another option as well. But today I thought we would leave crypto alone and jump onto, excuse me, jump onto Forex. So we'll have a look at a Forex trading platform today. And we'll just have a look at the sort of one of the main ones that get used pretty much by every broker. And that is the good old MT4 platform. You've got an MT4 platform and you've got an MT5 platform. Almost all brokers offer both of them to take your pick from. There's not a lot of differences between them all. This one is the MT4 platform. And if you have a look at where my cursor is, that's the different time frames that you can choose from. So 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30, 1 hour, etc. On the MT5, you can customize it more. You can have 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 30 seconds, all of that. But it's all laid out almost exactly the same. There's a few differences of how it works behind the scenes. The MT5 allows you to trade more stocks and things as well, which you usually can't on the MT4. But other than that, I think if you know a fair bit about cryptocurrency trading, then you'll have no real trouble trading Forex and vice versa, because all the TA, the technical analysis that we do, like support and resistance, trend lines, market structure, etc., that'll apply to basically no matter what we're trading. So you can still do all your TA exactly the same. You can bring up this particular chart here is the Great British Pound against the Japanese yen. You can do a certain amount of drawing and analysis on the chart here, but I tend to do the majority of it on the TradingView platform, and then just jump across here to place the trades. But I might just go through a few of them. This is sort of your options for drawing. There aren't a lot really. You can draw trend lines. You can just draw straight lines like this one here. So, you know, I'd say that we're sort of right on resistance there now. So it might possibly be a chance to do a sell order. On the Forex trading side of things, they tend to call the long orders buys and the short orders sells. So sometimes when I'm talking cryptocurrency trading, I just say buys and sells too. It's exactly the same thing. If you want the market to go up, you do a buy. If you want it to go down, you do it a sell, etc., etc. Well, not if you want it to go up. If you think it's going to go up, you should be doing a buy, and vice versa. One unique feature of the MT4 platform is it does have incorporated into it. It's all set up ready for you to get a third-party software and install it as part of the MT4 platform, and that's generally called an EA software, and then that can sort of help automate and do the trading for you. There's thousands of different EAs out there. I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, some are pretty hopeless, some are a little bit helpful, and some of them are pretty amazing. There's a whole range to choose from there. But the platform itself, the MT4 platform, is designed to allow you to, you know, you can purchase one of these EA softwares from somewhere. Some of the ones I use are a subscription thing. If you're a bit of a coder, you could just knock your own up, I guess, and you can just, there's just a section in here. Let me just bring it up. The navigator window, and here under expert advisors, there's no real expert advisors. There's these two ones that come with it, but they're more just indicators than anything. But you just really got to go in here and just copy and paste your software into this section, and then you can just drag it onto any chart you want. So that's pretty handy. The MT5 has the same features. Some softwares suit the MT5, some suit the MT4, and all of that. But I'm just going to quickly go, as I said, not going to do anything too technical again this week, but I'll just go through and point out the main points that I like to know about on the MT4. As I said, we've got one chart up already. Let's say we wanted to trade on the USD JPY. Let me just right click to bring up the sub menu and chart window, and that'll then bring up another chart window. Down the bottom underneath the charts, you'll see I've got 4 tabs open. That's representing 4 separate charts that I do have up. It's just the USD JPY is the one on top. But if I put my cursor where it says USD JPY here and just double click, that will just minimize it, make it smaller. You can, you can do all the usual dragging around however you like them to be. But I've got the 4 charts up there, and one magic button is this one in the middle, which just looks like 4 little charts together. If you click on that, oops, hang on, I've got these ones here. Now, if I click on that, it'll just spread the charts around and make them all even size so you can watch them all at once. You can also go to the window tab up the top and tile your charts vertically and have them look like that if you like. There's all of those options. But I'll just go through all of these tabs one at a time. That might be easiest. These ones are just templates. You can have templates set up. You can arrange, let's say, other things you can do. I can come down here to properties. Yeah, I can just sort of pick whatever I want to have a look at. I can change the colors of everything. I can have the foreground white. I just want to make them different to how it was, that's all. And click OK. So now I've changed the look of my chart considerably. I can just right click to bring up the menu. I can come down to template and save template. And just call it a name, call it anything you want, call it Les, and save. If I bring up one of the other charts I had just by clicking on that tab, you can see it's still the original color. But if I wanted it to look like the other chart, I could come here to templates, and now you can find Les there. Just click on that, it'll change the template to that. There's also some ready setup ones. Bollinger Bands is a type of indicator that they use. That's those red lines. This one here, just change the time frame with that one. At the moment, I have this one on the M5, so the 5-minute time frame. You can change it to the 1 hour time frame, just like that. You can also do that just by clicking on any one of these tabs here. Now it's on the daily time frame. This is a list of all the different indicators that you may want to use. So with the indicators, there's a whole, I'm not going to get into these, but there's a whole heap. Some of them show basically various different trends. Parabolic SAR is one that I really like. And it really shows you which way the market's trending. So if the little green dot is underneath where the market is, that means that the market's trending upwards. And then once the green dot changes sides, that means it's sort of the uptrend's over and it's going to start trending down. And most of the time you can see while ever it's doing it, it trends for a while in one direction and it'll trend the other way. So that's just one of those indicators.
What was the name of that one, Les?
That's the parabolic SAR.
Okay.
That is the one, without getting off the subject too much, that's the one that Stratamus, the software Stratamus that we don't get to use, that's what it works off, the parabolic SAR one.
Right.
So that's all Stratamus does is, while ever it's got a green dot underneath, it's doing buy orders. When that changes, it does sell orders. So, I mean, there was a lot of variables, but it doesn't matter now. But there is indicators. So you got ones, all of these ones show different, indicate which way the market's trending. Oscillators, they sort of show how much, like the average movement over a certain period of time and everything. Volumes, they work on how much volume's being traded. And a lot of them are all pretty similar as well, but there's a hell of a lot of different ones. I mean, if you really want to get into all of those different ones, you can go and find Mr. YouTube or Mr. Google. They'll know more about them all than me. I know a little bit about some of them. This tab here, it just changes it. So you got a bit of a gap before your chart. Sometimes that's just handy so you can extend your drawing lines further forward. That's just, if you click on this one, it'll, normally you want your chart to automatically scroll across every time a new candle comes on. That just turns that feature on and off. We did that one. It just rearranges the charts. This one, plus and minus magnifying glasses. You can just zoom in and zoom out, obviously. It makes each candle bigger and fatter. They're still 1 hour candles, but just bigger and fatter now. You can go right down to, they're just little lines, however you like them. These are your different types of candles. So instead of having these, what they call Japanese candles, you can just have a line. The line's totally disappeared. It must be because I have a black background. But that's just a line. Some people, not me, I like the Japanese candles. That's what I was born and bred on. But some people find this one easier to see which way the market's going because it's just a line. It's not a whole heap of individual lines. It's just one line. So some people find that simpler. That one's for the Japanese candles. These ones, can't think what they're called right off the top of my head now, but it's sort of similar to the Japanese candles. It just shows they've got a little line at the bottom where the market, so this is where the market opened, this is where the market closed, and that's the full movement. So pretty similar, but I'll leave it on that one. Auto trading, that's one of the EA software, the auto trading features. So if you've got some of that EA software, that automated software installed on your chart, you can just use that button to turn it on and off. These are ones I don't use. They're just, I'm not even sure what they are. Register account as a source. It's just if you're a bit more technical on the coding side of things, I think. This one here, if I wanted to place a trade, I don't do it this way, but this is just another option. You can just click that. It brings up the trade order box, and you can either do a buy order or a sell order. I'll show you the way I do it in a minute. That'll be better. You can test different strategies. So this is like a back tester. You can work on previous history, test your strategy, see how it comes up. And these other ones here, they're just to bring up different pieces of information all around the chart here. You can also just do it from view. So if I wanted to get rid of this box here, I could just get rid of the navigator window and get rid of it. Just a minute, guys. Okay. Yeah. Just my son in the background there. Alrighty, and then we come down here and we've got this one. It's just a cursor on the screen, so we can use it to measure various different things too. Let's say we wanted to see how long this candle was, see how far the market moved during this 5-minute period. We can just put the cursor on the bottom, double click and drag, and you can see we've got a few different figures now. So the first figure, the one that reads 0, that's telling me how many candles away, either right or left, from where I started the line is. So I could, if I wanted to measure to here, I could measure it, and it says 24 candles. So they're 5-minute candles. So, you know, that'll be 100. Okay, one more. That'll be 125 minutes, so to speak, since the market was here. You can also measure how far it's gone. That's the second figure, the one that reads 63. That's 63 points. There's 10 points to a pip. So that would be 6.2 pips. If you've only ever done crypto trading, then you won't probably know what a pip is. I'll get into that in just a moment. And anyway, lastly, there's a third figure on the right-hand side that says 109.2. That's just the actual value of the market at that position. So you can see if I line it up there, it's 109.23, and it's just matching the figures on the right-hand side. That's all that is. Now, a pip is how they measure profit and movement with the Forex market. The easiest way to think of it is not as a value or a dollar value, but just as a distance on the chart. So, you know, like before we measured that and it was 6 pips. So if we placed a trade and it moved 6 pips, depending on how large that trade was and also which pair we're trading, 6 pips would equate to a dollar value. But I'm not going to get into the whole calculation of that. You don't even really need to fully understand it, but I like to just think of it as a distance more than a value. Just speak up if I say anything and you want more info on it. Okay, that was the cursor. Lines, just simple. We can just draw a vertical line. We can draw a horizontal line. We can draw a trend line. So we put it where we want to start the trend line. We double click and drag and just let go when we get to where we want to be. So that draws a trend line. You can also draw channels and things as well. But the drawing tools on the MT4 are fairly limited. So I just much prefer, I really don't use hardly any of the drawing tools on the MT4. I just do it all on TradingView and then jump on here to place the trades. I won't try and go into all of the drawing tools because there aren't many and I don't use them much, so I probably don't know a lot to tell you about. Alrighty. So you've got all the different pairs here. If they're not showing, they're listed already, you can just right click and you can come down to symbols and you can have a look. You've got your Forex minor pairs, your exotic pairs, your different metals. So you can trade gold, silver. And what options are here will also depend on which broker you're using. Some of them will let you trade a limited number of cryptocurrencies. Let's have a look at what they got here. So this broker here, Pepperstone, they have a fair range of different cryptos you can trade. The limitation with trading crypto on the MT4 platform is that generally you still can't trade 7 days a week. All Forex trades only happen Monday through Friday Australian time, so not on the weekends. Depending on your broker again, you can trade some of the cryptos at some stages during the weekends. So there'll tend to be 2 or 3 sessions over the weekend when you can trade. But unlike a cryptocurrency exchange where you can place a trade and it's going to be active, you can close it or whenever you like, any day of the week, any time of the day you like. On here, if excuse me, if you place a cryptocurrency trade, you need to know when that trading session is going to finish, because it might be 6 or 12 hours before the next trading session starts. And during that time when there isn't a trading session, you won't be able to close that trade. So if the market goes against you while that trading session isn't open, when it does open, you could find that you're in a lot of negative. You could literally blow your account because you weren't able to monitor or close that trade. So you need to, I mean, I have traded crypto on here during the weekend sessions, but you just need to know when that session finishes and make sure you have no open trades while the session's unopened, not working. So we've got like that's just the NASDAQ 100. You've got the US 30, which is the top 30 companies in the US on the stock exchange and all of that. So there's all those sort of stocks that you can trade as well. But let's get down to let's just bring up a chart I can see again. That'll do. To the nitty gritty of how it all works. So let's say you wanted to place a trade. You can just right click on the chart. Hang on, let me show you that another way. Let's say you wanted to place a limit order. So you don't want to place a trade right now, but if the market got right down this low again, you decide you want to place a trade, you can put your cursor there and you can come up here and you click buy limit. So now it's placed a buy limit order. So that's not an active trade, that's just sitting there. When the market reaches there, it's going to activate that trade. And you can see that's just sitting here as a buy limit. If I was to actually place a live trade right now, the way I like to do that is I just bring this little drop down, choose what size trade I want, and then just click either buy or sell depending on what I want. So let's do a sell order. So now it's placed a sell order there. So if the market goes down now, it will go into profit. If the market goes up, it will go into negative or drawdown. And you can see it's showing there as a sell order. And then the other one I put in here is as a buy limit. All the info that it's telling you here is the time you took the trade out, what type, either buy or sell, the size of that trade, which pair it's trading on, the price that you place the trade at. Okay, stop loss and take profit. We haven't set a take profit and stop loss yet, but I'm just going to get rid of this buy limit. You can either just click here or you can put your cursor right on that line itself, right click and delete it. But so we've got a live trade going here now, and it's a sell order, which means I would want to place a stop loss up above it in case the market went against me. The easiest way to do that is to put your cursor on that trade, double click and drag. And I want to put that stop loss there. And the same for a take profit, except you drag down. And let's say I want to get to there, I'll take profit there. So now it's telling me where the stop loss is set at, where the take profit is set at, the price the market is currently at. So this is a price where we place the trade. This is a price where what the market currently is. The commission, so similar to cryptocurrency exchange, they charge a commission on every trade, depending on the size of it. On the MT4 will be the size. So for this particular broker, and they can all be quite different, they charge $7 per standard lot size. So this was a 1 0.0 lot size, so they charge $7. Swap, that's another fee that they charge for carrying a trade over into the next day. So whenever the market closes for the day, and for most Forex trading, it'll close at like 7, my time in Queensland, it's 7:59 a.m. and then it starts again, you know, at 8 o'clock. So there's no real downtime, but if you carry a trade over that time period, you get a swap fee added to it as well. It's not a very big swap fee, but if you end up carrying trades for, you know, several weeks or months, the swap fee can add up. So you need to understand that it's there. And this trade's currently in $24 profit, because we can see where the dotted line is where we place the trade. The market's been moving down. It's in $20 profit, that trade, but minus $7 commission gives us the, you know, the grand total here of $13. So if I close this trade now, my balance will go up by $13 or $50, whatever that says at the time. Now, getting onto this info here, it confuses people sometimes. Balance is fairly easy. That's how much money you've got in your account. Equity, that is your balance plus or minus this figure here. So if you had some trades open and they're in the negative, you might have minus a couple of $100 here or more, whatever. The equity is going to be your balance minus your, what we call a drawdown. At the moment, our drawdown's in the positive, so our equity will actually be higher than our balance. So 860, 882, so that's correct. Margin. With your cryptocurrency trading, you set a leverage for every individual trade. With trading on the Forex, on the MT4, you just have an account, preferably with really high leverage, but you don't necessarily use that leverage all the time. So depending on what leverage your account is and how many trades you have open, the broker will set aside some of your balance, in this case, $336. And the idea of that is that if your account, if you had a heap of trades open and they all went against you, and so we've got $24,000 balance, but if our drawdown here said negative 24,000, our equity would only be at about 860. They also keep aside 336. So if your equity gets down to less than your margin, then that's when they'll liquidate your trades and close them out. They don't even ask you, they just close them out. And that margin is like a little bit of a buffer so that they've got time to close your trades before the market goes against you further. And because of that margin that they set aside, you should never end up owing the broker money. So you can only, because of that, you can only lose. It is theoretically possible you could lose more money than you have in there, but it wouldn't be a lot. And you'd have to be trading poorly, because you should never let your account get into that much drawdown anyway. But yeah, so that's what the margin is. It's a little buffer to allow them time to close your trades before you lose more than you have. And free margin is simply your equity minus your margin, gives you 24,523. And the margin percentage, it's not real important, but it is, let me get this right, it's your free margin displayed as a percentage of the margin that you have. So 24,516 is 7,375% bigger than that. Yeah, that should work out pretty good. But anyway, as I said, it's not real important, but that's what it is. Look, we lost all that profit while we were talking. Should have closed it. Right, the tabs along the bottom here, we'll go through them. Most of them aren't too important, but the trade tab, it just lists all your trades. Simple as that. We went through them. Exposure, you can have a look at how many trades you've placed on what pairs and all of that. I never looked there. Account history. So on the trade tab, it's listing all your current trades and any limit orders you have in place. Once those trades get closed, either in profit or loss, then you'll find them on the account history tab, and you'll see, that's when we close that buy limit order, even though it never activated. It just displays here now. This trade here on pound yen, it was closed at a loss, etc., etc. News, alerts, these are more dependent on if you're using different softwares and things. You can get different signals and things come through here. You click on the experts tab. If you're using one of these EA softwares I mentioned earlier, it'll tell you what it's up to. Like if it's, depending on the software, it could be anything. Like it's placed a trade, it could be a level 4 trade, it's done this, it's done that. But that's where you find what the expert software has actually been doing. And the journal, it just tells you everything that's happening on the whole platform. So it should tell us everything we've just done here. So we deleted a pending order, we put a pending order in, we modified that order, and it's all just there. Any questions so far, guys? Not really. I know there's not many people on the call, and most of you either know a fair bit about this or haven't really got into Forex trading yet, so probably don't care or don't know what to ask yet.
Yeah, no, it's good, Les. It's good to have you run through it and go over it. Yeah.
What else can we go through? Any ideas, guys? That's all the main bits and pieces of it. Pardon?
Who do you use for a broker?
Okay, so your broker, I'll put it into crypto terms for you. Your broker is like your cryptocurrency exchange. That's where you need to have an account, and that's where you have your funds deposited to. The MT4 is just the platform that you're doing the trading on. So it's like when you're trading crypto, they've got a trading platform sort of built into it. This is really the same thing, although you can, it doesn't necessarily have to be attached to the broker. But what we do is just bring up the view. So at the moment, I'm logged into my Pepperstone account. You can just click here and log into a different trade account whenever you want. But it depends on what sort of trading you want to do. There's thousands of different brokers out there as well. Some of them, you got offshore brokers, you've got Australian-owned company brokers. You've got ones that are fully, they're mostly legitimate. I guess there's dodgy ones out there as well, but you've got some that are really strict with all the different anti-money laundering rules and regulations, really strict on ID proofs and all of that. You've got other ones that are more offshore ones that you don't really need to do KYC, and you just you can fund with crypto. And even though we're trading Forex, fiat currency, you can still fund a lot of them with crypto. But once you put your crypto in there, it then becomes fiat currency and you just trade with fiat. That's one way that brokers get around not needing their customers to do KYC and everything. But yeah, some of the EA softwares that I use myself to trade, they do need quite high leverage to work efficiently. And this broker here is called Pepperstone. And because I've done a lot of trading, I have a Pepperstone Pro account, which allows me to have high leverage. But and these are fairly new regulations that have come in. If you're a new person to Pepperstone or a new person to Forex trading, then they don't allow you to have high leverage straight up. You've got to have a fair bit of experience before they'll let you have the high leverage. even just a year ago, you could just jump in as a raw novice and have high leverage. So that's a bit of a bummer. So you can't use Pepperstone if you're just starting yourself up now, because you won't be able to get the high enough leverage. If you just want to do some manual trading on Forex, then the leverage that Pepperstone offer would be fine. But just to use the automated software that needs higher leverage. But any of you guys on this call or anybody watching this recording one day in the future, I've used quite a few different brokers over the years. So depending on where you live and everything, we can probably easily come up with some brokers to suit you so you can get involved. On the other hand, you can just go on Google. Google's my friend too. What brokers can I use in Australia? What leverage is offered in such and such? Those sort of things will get you all the info you need.
Yep.
Makes sense? Yep.
Yep.
Thanks for that, Liz.
So yeah. I think that probably covers everything I wanted to go through on the MT4. Let's close this. So we're still down $2. Every time I'm making a video, it'd be awesome to place a trade on a live video or a recorded video and see it go into profit and close it out in profit, but that never works.
Les,
Anyway.
I've had fun with the arrow indicator.
Yeah.
And that happened to me tonight. I didn't know what had happened. The trade just went off. It was taken out, I don't know, in seconds. 20 pips.
Oh, you made profit.
Yes.
Nice.
I couldn't believe it. I thought, didn't I put that trade on? It's not there. And then
Bang,
I
bang.
saw,
Thanks for coming.
yeah, that was like that. Yeah.